Hello there. We got things to talk about, and it's about a ring, it's about a planner, it's about 10 days until classic, and it's about Parry rating. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MTA 75 for the 16th of August 2019, and in the topics today we got the key ring coming to WoW Classic. Now the key ring is not going to be in at launch, as Blizzard lets us know via a blue post, and they say, hello, yes, we do have the key ring coming to Classic, but it won't be available at launch, but it will be added in the first patch. We don't yet have a time frame for the first patch. The key ring should function as it did in original WoW 1.12 with the same capacity and key compatibility. That means, sadly, we got some bad news for you, that you need to carry your keys in your pockets, and we all know that's a bad thing because you're gonna let them and forget them somewhere in some inn around the world of Azeroth. But with the first patch, they will introduce the keyring and all of the rings like workshop keys and, you know, the Scarlet Monastery key or whatever, you name it. You will have to carry them in your bags, but then you will be able to attach them to your keyring, which is very, very pleasant news. The other thing I wanted to point out today is that Wowhead has actually featured a classic gear planner in which you can, in addition to the BIS list that I featured in the last episode, you can now choose a class, choose a race, and then you can basically search the whole database, the classic database, for stuff that you want to put in here. So for example, if you want to play the Mighty Red Paladin, you can now check a main hand weapon, yes, and you could theoretically give you the Mighty Sulphurous Hand of Ragnaros right here, and it's a rather cool and pleasant tool. I very much suggest you go and build your characters out of boredom, because you know, we are still 11 days far away from the release, and it's a rather boring time right now. So I'm just gonna you know, click some things randomly, don't mind me. 90 epic rogue bracers, well, that sounds pretty epic to me. And so yeah, you can go to the Wowhead Classic gear planner and you know, configure your own BIS character. Isn't that something? Yes, the BIS. And you can go and you know, choose whatever you like. You can see how much spell hit you can actually get as an owl, right? If you put in the correct items that you can get in phase 1, for example, you could theoretically put them in here, and there you go. You can see how much spell hit you could actually get and how that's gonna affect your character with all the stats here on the right side. And it's a neat tool, I thought, to kill the boredom before the release. And you know, especially for, you know, me as a warrior, I can already check how much defense rating and everything I'm going to have, how much block. You know, if you're interested in the master class of the Prot Paladin, of course, you can see how much block rating you can achieve, etc, etc. Or you want to play a shaman tank, no problem, you know, you can build your character here. Now, as you might see right here, it also checks if you can actually wear that piece. So that's really nice. It also shows you your resistances. You can plan your resistance gear if you so like. And you know, we can... What's missing, what I noticed here, is there's no Moonkin form, which is of course not very good, but you don't really need it because it doesn't give you any necessary stats here in these parts. But if you were to you know, play an owl, and you could, for example, put in Clutch, right? Clutch of Andros, which should give you a spell hit, and there you go. You got some more spell hit. Spell hit 1%. There you go. I just wanted to point out this neat tool for you, and you can even view it in 3D. And I'm going to look something like this. Does that not look awesome to you? It does to me. So as a small demonstration, I thought we could build our own owl. What do you guys say? And so I thought I went to wowclassicbiz.com, right? Put it up on the side on my second screen, and then On this one, we're just gonna build it, okay? So we're gonna go here, Night Elf, of course. We're gonna be a sweet, sweet Night Elf, male Night Elf. Moonkin, okay? So for the headpiece, we do have the green lens. Okay, green lens could now be anything. Alright, green lens could be anything, so we're just gonna put it in. And it will have a random enchantment, but that's the best you can get in phase 1, okay? So I have opened the best in slot pre-raid. Okay, we're looking at pre-raid owl gear, right? And as a necklace, we have the Star of Mysteria, actually. So that grants us another spell hit and some nice neat stats. And we got the Elder Wizard's Mantle, okay? So Elder Wizard's Mantle, there you go. It has 11 spell damage and 20 int. The back is probably going to, yeah, Archivist's Cape. Archivist's Cape, which has random enchantment, but usually it can have, I believe it was like, you can have anything, but let's just say it has int on it, so I wonder if this is not factored in, I don't think, if it has random enchantment, so that kind of sucks a little bit. But hey, what can you do? So, Robes of the Royal Crown was from BRD. Oh shit. Did I hit anything? No. Okay, good. Then, Robes of the Royal Crown. There we go. That gives us another 18 spell damage and some int. Really, really cool. And we got the wrists. Wrists are from... Okay, these all have random stats, so Flame Weave cuffs, I guess, are the best. Seems rather weird to me, but hey, phase 1, this side don't lie. But let me know if you've noticed anything unusual, because that's why I'm doing this. I want to see if anybody can find any things that are off. Slaghide gauntlets, of course. We're still at Moonkin. Oh yeah, those can have, I believe, spell power, int on it and spirit. But I was wondering, aren't there the gloves of spell power from the rare mob? You know, Slaghide gauntlets. This is probably gonna be quite bad. Clutch of Andros I have as a belt, but apparently there's a better one that is Bantok Sash. Okay, so that was wrong. Bantok Sash. There we go. 12 spell damage and another spell hit and int. Quite neat. Then as the pants, we got the Sky Shroud leggings. I believe they're from Lower Blackrock Spire. Sky Shroud leggings. Oh yes. As the feet, on the feet slot, Omnicast boots. Also from the Blackrock Depths. So quite neat dungeon right there. Omnicast boots, 22 spell damage and 9 int. As the first ring, we have this Songstone of Ironforge, of course. Granted by a quest, the Smoldering Runes of Thorisia, and if you didn't know that, go and do that. It gives you a very, very bis ring. The Maiden Circle. Circlet? Circle. Can't spell. Maiden. There we go. Maiden Circle. Quite expensive. Trinket 1 is going to be, of course, the Mighty Briar Wood Reed, which you can fight with the priests over. And the Eye of the Beast. 2 spell crit. Eye of the Beast. Bam. 2% spell crit. Of course, we're not gonna wear Sulphurous. We're going to wear the Witchblade. Witchblade. Now, sadly, all of these stats have, or all of these items have like random stats and crap. So that kind of sucks. And then the Drakestone. Again, random enchantment and 7 spell damage. But we're gonna put it in here anyway. And that was that. That is the gear. The relic isn't in yet, so no chance. And with this, this sweet dude right here, we would have a grand total of 2% spell hit, right? So essentially not playable as an owl. So yeah, that would be an owl. And if we view this in 3D, we would look something like this. Doesn't that look amazing to you, right? Like a... Looks like an arcane. Well, it kind of looks like an arcane night elf. Of course, you can also go into the talent trees right here and make some sort of spec for this, right? But since there's no spell hit for the owls in this tree, you could see that the best things you can get in phase 1, maybe there's 1 or 2 variations, but regarding spell hit, there's not much you can get, and you would be stuck with 2% spell hit, which is of course very bad as an owl because you need 16 to cover 16, so you can still miss 14% of your spells, which is massive, and you will not deal any damage. So you would have to check the best in slot or classicbiz.com until you get some decent spell hit items in there. It should be the Bloodvine set, and that is when the owl becomes somewhat playable. But the tool works, so that is something. You can also see your resistances right here. And a summary of items and where they drop. That is quite the neat tool. What you can also do is add enchants here on the bottom left side, and you can go and take, for example, the Arcanum of Focus, which adds another 8 spell damage to your head slot item. You can do the same for the pants, of course, whatever you like. And the main hand weapon, of course, you would want something like spell power on the weapon. I don't know if that's even, I don't think that's even available in phase 1, but for the fuck of it, we're just gonna go and do it. So just so you can see how the tool works. Another great thing that you can do is, for example, say you want to filter by phase. So in phase 1 you will have you know, all of the headpiece items that drop here. You can double check if some of this is accurate, and you know, if you can actually go and get it. For example, I would say, you could say the Cenarian helmet, you could put that one in, and yeah, that's about it for this tool. For our big topic today, we got the 14% parry chance on bosses, and this is a rather unpleasant topic for all you tanks out there, because, well, obviously, you know, in all the private realms that we have played so far, bosses used to just have a 6% parry chance, just like they, or 5 to 6% parry chance, which was kind of like a default value for anything that was, you know, a boss. But now the parry rating kind of is a big deal, because anything that is 3 levels above the player is a raid boss, and anything 3 levels above the player now has a similar jump in percentage, like the spell mischance, right? As you might or might not know, spell mischance increases dramatically when you are facing a boss that is level 63 versus 2 or 1 level higher than you, or even the same level. Now, it just skyrockets to 16% spell hit needed, or spell mischance, all of a sudden. Parry is kind of the same. Against targets that are 1 or 2 levels above you, it's not such a big deal. But when it comes to targets that are 3 levels above you, it all of a sudden, you know, jumps to not just 1 parry chance per level, but all of a sudden jumps to 14%. Obviously, this will affect threat generation massively and might have an impact on your race choice. Now, it needs to be said that even the human racial will only, you know, decrease that parry chance by a slight percentage. And we're talking about something like a couple of, not even a percent, which is something to have, right? But what I'm talking about is, of course, what you can do is basically boost anything else, right? So if you were debating to roll a Night Elf warrior like me at some point, you know, with this change, as being a main tank, I kind of will have to go as a human, because with that 14% parry in place now, that will massively impact the threat generation. So I have to boost any other thing that I can, for example, gaining the 3% hit from being human using a sword. You can do the same on Horde side if you're an orc, of course. Just bear in mind, at some point you will have enough hit rating anyway. It's just a neat little start that you can take advantage of. I'm also talking about the glancing blow penalty that you aren't affected by, essentially, as a human or orc that much. So, you know, take whatever you can, because 14% parry rating is massive. What also comes into play is the parry haste, and this will pretty much put more pressure on your healers. And of course, you don't want them to flame you and say you're a bad tank, but, you know, also a heads up for the healers. So I thought this was a really cool topic, because it kind of affects everybody. DPS has to chill sometimes a little bit more maybe, and the healers might have to be aware that their tank will get much more crushing blows, or not. Well, that's the wrong term. Many more big hits into his face, and because anytime you parry an attack, you gain the parry haste, and so do bosses. That reduces the swing timer, depending on how far you're already in the swing timer. But essentially, if the boss parries an attack, the next attack will come in quicker, which is deadly. It's quite deadly because, of course, it can be, you know, anything. So this is kind of a big deal. Since it's a kind of a one roll table, you know, all of your attacks can first be parried, and that's definitely bad. So I just wanted to give you a little heads up. This is the state of the art that was confirmed by Bluepost, and I believe SkarmTank made a video on it, so you can go and check his video out. It's pretty good, talking about it. Also, he's talking about dual wield, you know, tanking. Is that still going to be a thing with a 14% parry haste and all that? And my opinion is it's going to be quite bad, because if you're not in a very, very high tier guild where everybody knows what the hell's going on and everybody's buffed to the max, it's going to put a lot of pressure on your healers, because both of your attacks can basically cause the boss to parry, thus, you know, giving a parry haste hit into your face. And if that happens often enough in a row, that will be bad. But check his videos out. Also, DevCamp, they made a video on basically a melee guide I wanted to highlight and feature. It's really well put together, and aside from my video that I made on hit rating and glancing blows and how weapon skill works on my channel, you can find it here too. That's still in place, so that's still correct. But DevCamp, they made a really lengthy video with, you know, a whole lot of numbers, and you know, their quality of the videos is pretty good. So go and check that out too. Right. Anything else to say in this MTA? Well, the 14% parry does really suck. Doesn't make any bear tank better, because that was a rumor there that we heard. I think it doesn't, because even the bear attacks can be parried. So there was a rumor going around that the bear attacks can't be parried. If anybody has any news on this, let me know. The latest news that I have is they can be parried. What I want to point out though is if you were planning on playing a prot paladin, this will be better for you slightly, because your threat generation doesn't necessarily depend on you hitting the mob more. You know, you gain a lot from it hitting you, so it can actually be a good thing. But it's just a slight buff to prot paladin, because as you all might know, this is still just an off tank. Yeah, arguably, but people can argue about it all the time, and we will not find the answer until somebody actually tries it out in actual classic. So yeah, right, those are the news. The keyring is coming later. The classic gear planner is in place. It's a really neat tool where you can already build your character, and if you combine that with the BIS website I highlighted in the last MTA, you can already make your characters in for the phase 1 and see what items you can get and how much you can achieve. You know, if the build you're looking for is going to be viable or not. So let me know what you think about the 14% parry rating, because it's definitely it is a really big deal. And yeah, let me know if you're gonna roll orc because of this, or human, or if you're gonna stick to your own race that you enjoy more. I'm definitely going to go human, because as a main tank, in my opinion, you can't really afford. You need to pull all, you know, all the things out of your ass that you can to have the biggest threat generation possible. So yeah, shout out to SkarmTank and DevCamp for the videos. Go and check those out. That is me done for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still recruiting rogues, mages and resto druids for our classic guild 3 raid days hardcore. If you are interested, you will find a link to our Discord in the description below the video, and you can just drop us a message in the guild application channel. Have a very, very wonderful day. I am done for the day, and I will see you next time.